Have you heard the latest?
No.
I was looking at CNN the other day, and one of the owners, the founders of PayPal, I think his name is Ken Howie. Howie states, he puts out a proposition.
What's that?
He's looking at the cost of going to college. And he basically sees them as prohibitive. Okay? It's expensive to go to college. $30,000, $40,000 just to go to a proprietary school, vocational school. $50,000 to $60,000 to go to a private school. Your Pepperdines, your UCLA's,
Okay.
universities of San Francisco, places like that. Go to public school, it runs anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000. Okay, a year.
Okay.
So it would be easy for you to rack up $100,000 in debt by the time you finish your college career. Just looking at that on the strength of that, going to school, choosing to go to school is daunting, right?
Right.
So he has proposed that PayPal will give you a $100,000 grant to not go to college.
Huh? So what am I going to do if I don't go to college? What are my options?
You're going to come up with innovative ideas, start up companies,
How am I start up a company and I have no money?
$100,000 grant to do anything that you want to do to produce this product. Now, you have people out there that are working on all electric cars, solar panels, any number of innovative things that they're working on. He's looking at college-age students, okay?
College-age students could mean any number.
College-age students is what the man said.
Okay, so that means 18 or older.
Sure. The key is you make a commitment not to go to school
Okay.
for a year, I think it is. Okay?
All right.
Or for the length of time it takes you to do your project.
Okay.
Now, here's his thing. Because I said, well, wait a minute. You got your college degree. Why can't I get mine? His answer to that is that both he and the owner of Facebook, Mark Zuckerman, created their companies before they got their college degrees.
Well, speaking of that, the gentleman from Under Armour also, I can't think of his name offhand. He started Under Armour out of the basement of his grandmother's house.
There you go.
He
That's the
started
point.
Under Armour.
That's the point. So what he's saying is, and this is a good discussion, this is a discussion you should be having at home. Is going to college overrated? Is going to college for everyone?
No, I agree with you on that point. No, college isn't for everyone.
Or is it a delayed thing? Because he's not saying don't go to college, because both he and Mark Zuckerman got their degrees after they were wealthy. They now all have degrees, okay? But they don't worry about money. They don't worry about making a living. And they have a dream that they're living.
Right.
Okay? So what he's saying is, look, maybe college is a delayed reaction. I went to college 20 years outside of high school.
Okay.
Okay? I went out, I worked my fields of profession, I made as much money as I could, and I didn't go back to school until I hit the ceiling. When I hit the ceiling, I realized I was maxed out. I was at the most money I would ever make without a degree. I was able to afford to pay for those first few years of college at that point because I had a functional career. So what I had to do is create the time. Time became an issue at that point. I have a family, I have a career, so now I have to carve out those few hours a week to take those classes to get that degree.
Okay, now speaking of that, you went the traditional route, well, the non-traditional route.
Sure.
I went the traditional route. When I graduated from high school, I went to college, 4 years, okay? Afterwards, I went into the workforce, okay? Worked my way through. Then I decided 20 years later to go back to school to receive my master's, something I did, and I accomplished that. Okay, do I want to go back to school? Yes, but what field is out there for me now that's going to accept my skill sets? Okay?
And that's interesting because at the same time I decided to go and invest in a career, my friend went to a 4-year state university, came out 4 years later with a degree, with a BA in our specific field. Now here's the interesting thing.